So what's going on, everybody? It's your boy QuestX coming back at you once again with another video, and I really want to discuss a topic that, as a result of UFC 229, it got me thinking. As a boxing fan, excuse me, guys. As a boxing fan, you guys know that I have supported the sport that I love, and combat sports. And I have always pushed the promotion of this sport. We got a big fight coming up in December with Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomb Squad coming up in the building, about to fight Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, which is going to be an excellent event. Stacked, absolutely stacked undercard. I mean, this is probably one of the best undercards we've seen in the last 10 years. In boxing. So I'm very excited about that. But UFC 229, it does get somebody thinking. It does make you take a second and you take a step back and you're like, why was this event so successful? And here's how I know it was so successful at such a fast pace. The moment it was announced a few weeks ago, I literally heard people that I have never heard talk about combat sports bring up Khabib and Conor McGregor. Now, to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, I'm friends with a lot of people that I used to work with when I used to work in corporate America. And I have several businesses on the side. These are people who you would never expect to know a goddamn thing about a Conor McGregor or a Khabib. They don't know who Deontay Wilder is in boxing. They don't even, like, when I tell you these people are cornbread America, they don't even know who the hell. They know Floyd Mayweather because of controversy, but they don't know who Floyd Mayweather is as a fighter. They couldn't tell you who his big fights are, so on and so forth. But when this fight was announced by UFC and Dana White, they knew who Khabib was. They knew who Conor McGregor was. And this is something that it got me thinking. And I said to myself, well, damn, what the fuck is going on with boxing, man? Why does boxing always seem to have this hard time getting two guys in their prime, ready to go, ready to bang it out, in the ring with each other? It's always, we gotta wait, build the event, build the fight. And, shout out to Terrence Crawford, who is on social media right now, badgering Earl Spence Jr. Shout out to Black Fight Fan TV. You know who I'm rooting for, my man. Keeping it trill, Black Fight Fan. I'm rooting for Terrence Crawford in that fight. It looked like the little dog is barking really hard at Earl Spence. And, in no way am I saying that Earl Spence is afraid of Terrence Crawford, because that's would even come to mind. But you can kind of see the same situation building, right? The same trend building in boxing. Like, the one guy is calling the other guy out, but then we have this undercurrent and this tone of people sitting up there saying, well, the fight can't be made right now because different networks. The fight can't be made right now because of opposing promoters. The fight can't be made. It's always a but with an asterisk over the top of it in boxing. But in UFC, these dudes can sit there and two guys who are titans of the sport can meet up with no problem and ease. And this is what this fight got me thinking about, okay? And this is why, no matter how much I despise the UFC for their racism and their cultural appropriation that they clearly exhibit, it's why I gotta give UFC a little bit more props than boxing. They seem to be able to make the fights that everybody wants to see. Whereas, as a boxing fan, we have to struggle, fight, scratch, and sniff just to get a guy who is the #1 contender any sort of respect. And why is that? Is it on the fans, or is it on the politics of boxing? Well, as you guys know, QuestX, I cover politics, and I'm going to go back to the political forum. The political formula, put it that way. And at the end of the day, no matter what the system is shaped to be, the system cannot function without the people. Now, by that I mean is, if we really want the fights to happen, we have to let our voices and our power and strengths be known. Hence, pay-per-view, viewership, and promotion. By that I mean is that if we're being given fights, right? Give you an example, case in point. Canelo Alvarez is about to fight a fucking bum, a nobody, right? You want to send a message to Canelo Alvarez: don't watch the fight. Don't, zero. Do not buy into any promotion. Do not support it. Do not pass even the name of his opponent to the next person. Cut that shit off at its knees. Trust me, that has an effect on what the person who is perpetrating the situation will do, especially after the end result is that it's not as successful as he thinks it will be as an event. That is what we as boxing fans need to start doing. Case in point, when the LDBC, that I'm proudly a member of, when we decided that we were going to boycott HBO and HBO pay-per-views, what has happened to HBO? Now you can say that, yeah, it was the LDBC who brought it down, or you can look at the current political atmosphere. They went and chose to push a certain narrative, which was unsuccessful to the brand, which then in turn, with the aid of the LDBC, with the aid of people who saw through the BS, we stopped buying, stopped tuning in, therefore their industry dried up. Okay? Now, will HBO ever come back to boxing? I believe that it will. But do you think that when they come back to boxing, will they do the same formula that they conducted prior? Absolutely not. Because we've made a point. We've made a point. We took a political stand. Said, no, we were not going to just accept what you give us. And that is what boxing fans need to do now. If we want the fights that we want, we have to make sure that we have our voices heard, and not only heard, that something is done about it. UFC229, put it that way, basically shows that boxing has so many strides to go. But is it that the boxing organization has so many strides to go, or is it us as the fans have so many strides to go? Because at the end of the day, UFC has its finger on the pulse of its fans, and its fans wanted this fight, and thus it provided this fight. So if we want to have Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence Jr. in the ring with each other, then we need to make sure that the pulse is felt by those who are in charge of the boxing world. It is your boy Quest X. I am out. Food for thought. Peace.